When we design a strategy to manage and take a business forward, it is sometimes difficult to see the wood from the trees and assess whether the strategy itself is sound. It's only when pressure is applied on the business internally or externally that you're able to tell or figure out whether your strategy was enough to meet the moment or not. A moment spent stress testing your business's strategy can save you and your team a lot of time and money. By asking tough questions about your business, you can identify confusion, inefficiencies, and weaknesses in your strategy and execution. In this video, I bring you the business strategy stress test, comprising of 7 questions, all of which have been researched and compiled by Harvard Business School professor Robert Simons over a period of 25 years. At first blush, the questions may seem obvious, but the options they represent can be difficult, and not all of their implications are always immediately clear. The first 2 questions force you to set solid priorities in your business. The next 2 assess your ability to focus on these priorities by identifying critical performance variables and constraints for the business. Questions 5 and 6 explore whether you are using techniques to increase creative tension and engagement amongst your team who are executing the strategy. The final question is about your ability to adapt your strategy over time. So without wasting any more time, let's get to the questions. Number 1, who is your primary customer? Choosing a primary customer is the main bedrock upon which a good business strategy should be built, because this directly indicates how you should allocate all your resources. The idea is simple. Allocate all possible resources to meet and exceed your primary customer's needs. Let's look at McDonald's, for instance. In the 1980s to 1990s, their primary customer were real estate developers and potential franchise owners. By identifying and focusing on them, the brand was able to open at one time 1,700 stores a year. By 2003, those same restaurants were in decline. So the new CEO at the time, Jim Cantalupo, made the tough pivot and announced the new boss at McDonald's is the consumer. This new chapter saw a reallocation of resources from centralized corporate functions to regional managers who were encouraged to customize local menus and store amenities. In the UK, McDonald's now serves porridge for breakfast. It serves soup in Portugal, and it sells burgers stuffed with French cheese in France. The Paris Design Center even offers franchisees 9 different design options, allowing them to customize the decor for their clients. Whilst a razor-like focus on one primary customer might feel counterintuitive for a business strategist, it is actually the way to surpass an average state of play for any business. Of course, your choice of primary customer may change over time, but it isn't a choice you should make so easily, because if you're truly changing your primary customer, it is likely you will need to make some serious moves to restructure and reorient your business towards the new focus. In case it wasn't clear, the majority of your resources company-wide need to be dedicated towards the acquisition and relationship with the primary customer you're targeting. It follows that you will need to minimize the resources devoted to everything else, including all external stakeholders and internal units that don't create value for your primary customer. Number 2, who comes first for the business? Shareholders, employees, or customers? Companies that execute strategy well make an express decision about their order of priority between shareholders, employees, and customers. Your core value statement for your business must indicate whose interest comes first when difficult trade-offs must be made. In some companies, customers come first. In others, it may be shareholders. Others may be employees. There is no right or wrong choice. Each choice is based on a different theory of value creation, but making one and communicating it effectively is crucial. For instance, say you're a company selling health and wellness products, and some research comes to light about some negative side effects of one of your most lucrative products. If you were customer-centric in your strategy, you might decide you want to pull the product from the shelves and forego the revenue. If, on the other hand, your core values are orientated to shareholder interests, you may decide to continue selling the item, but have the express warning labels put on the bottles. Neither is wrong, but any confusion in which priority should drive your decisions will cause you to act in a way that may not bring the results you would have hoped. Some travel and hospitality companies use their employees as a measuring stick for their business. As former Southwest CEO Herb Keller argues, if employees are treated well, they treat customers well. If customers are treated well, they will come back and the shareholders will be happy. By clarifying the business priorities, you are better prepared for unexpected situations and decisions that you will have to make. Otherwise, they have the power to derail your business. Number 3, what critical performance variables are you tracking? Information technology enables us to gather more and more data at lower and lower costs, especially with the advancement of business tech. The thing is, keeping track of so many variables may create a haze around performance indicator results. Effective managers monitor only a small number, those that could cause their strategy to fail. Management attention is your scarcest resource. As you add metrics to your scorecards, you incur an opportunity cost as people have less time to focus on what really matters. Consider Amazon, where annoyance for buyers tops the list of factors that could cause the strategy to fail. Managers there relentlessly focus on making customer buying as easy as possible. They focus on revenue per click and revenue per page turn, not long lists of metrics that have little to do with customers' buying experience. Number 4, what strategic boundaries have you set? The biggest risk to any good business strategy is the individuals charged with executing it do so without clear boundaries for them to work within, thereby increasing the chances of them pushing the business off course. There are 2 styles of laying these boundaries. Either be really specific with what your people can and cannot do, or if you want your people to still be innovative and entrepreneurial in their thinking, you're going to want to try the Steve Jobs approach. Basically, you hire creative people and tell them what not to do. In this way, you're giving the creative freedom, but within clear, defined limits. Steve Jobs famously declared to his team that Apple would not develop a PDA. He later argued that without such a restriction, the company wouldn't have the sense to develop the iPod. Jobs said, "People think focus means yes to the thing you've got to focus on. But that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas." Number 5, how are you generating creative tension? A good business strategy does not ignore the market forces that could impact the business's longevity. As a business leader, one of your primary jobs is to make external market pressures be felt inside your business. This will motivate your teams to act like winning competitors and to stop them finding comfortable ruts to retire into. The larger your business, the higher the likelihood is that your people are hidden from the market pressures, and this is a dangerous state of play. Here are some of the techniques that can create creative tension and stimulate innovation in your company. You don't need to choose just one. You can choose whichever and however many that are right for you and your company. In fact, the more innovation you desire, the more techniques you should think about. First, assign big, hairy, audacious stretch goals to help push the envelope of creativity. Or you could create a transparent employee ranking system based on demonstrated performance to help you continually support high performers and to identify the weak performers who can either be retrained or let go. You could also hold your team accountable for measures that are broader than the resources they have control of. For example, manager bonuses could be decided on high customer satisfaction scores company-wide, and then this way they are vested in harmonious interaction across the department and are minded to treat the business as a whole, not just their controlled department. You could log and report on costs generated by each team of the business, which motivates managers to become actively involved in discussions about the value of the business services provided by their departments. When operating managers have skin in the game, they will generate ideas about how units can work together to do things better and faster or cheaper. Next, you could set up cross-unit team meetings, where you will then find that employees not only serve as emissaries for their own home units, but also return with ideas and innovations for their new colleagues. Number 6, how committed are your employees to helping each other? For your business strategy to be a strong play, as much as you want your employees to achieve their personal best, they must also work together towards shared goals. For this to happen, The organization has to be built to incorporate the following 4 attributes. 1, pride in purpose, such as Amazon's Earth most customer-centric company. 2, make your company feel like an elite group or an organization. 3, an environment of trust. And number 4, ethos of fairness. With a business vibe that is built on these 4 components, the buy-in from your team members will be demonstratively higher. And this level of engagement will help win the business strategy stakes. Number 7, what will eventually undermine your business strategy? Only 3 things are certain in life: death, taxes, and the fact that today's strategy won't work tomorrow. At some point, your products will become outdated, your customers' tastes will change, or technology will make your business model uncompetitive. Today's achievements will be tomorrow's old news. The question is not if, but when. To align successfully, you must continually monitor for uncertainties that could invalidate the assumptions that underpin your current business strategy might change. Your entire organization must constantly scan the competitive landscape for changes and send intelligence about the state of play up the line to you. At every touch point of interaction between the business and the customer, you can be tracking patterns of behavior, and when there is any shift in data, this can signal that things may be changing. However you wish to monitor the status quo, you must not only ask your employees to challenge deeply held assumptions, including your own, but also reward those who have the courage to tell you bad news. Successfully executing a business strategy requires making tough, often uncomfortable choices based on simple logic and clear principles. This business strategy stress test is an excellent way to ensure you have covered all your bases. Remember, focus on a single primary customer. Prioritize who your business core values are centered around: shareholders, customers, or employees. Track targeted metrics that will indicate critical issues rather than useless feel-good data which sucks up useful resources. Set boundaries for your team to create and innovate within. Let the team feel a bit of pressure to help drive creativity. Facilitate employee engagement. Continually engage in ongoing face-to-face debate with the people around you about emerging data, unspoken assumptions, difficult choices, and ultimately action plans. You should be able to give clear, consistent answers to the 7 questions posed above. Only then can you be confident that your strategy is on track. As with more detailed business concept videos on this channel, there is a link to my article with a downloadable PDF that you can use to stress test your business strategy. I truly hope this helps. Keep me in the loop. See you in the next one. Hi, my name is Priyanka. You might just be one of my most favorite people in the world. Do you want to know why? Because you watched the video to the end and you subscribed to the channel, right?